I want to comment on the first reading. So yesterday we saw that the Pharaoh, he gave a very unjust law in Egypt. He said that all of the male newborns of the Israelites had to be killed, had to be terminated. That's the law that yesterday the Pharaoh gave. And obviously this law is tyrannical, and this law is unjust and unfair. And this law was set by a pragmatic set of mind that ignores the dignity of the human being. So in today's reading, there are two interesting things that I want to note about the reaction to this unfair law. The first one is, have you noticed who is the first person who disobeys the law of the Pharaoh? The first person to disobey the law is his own daughter. She's the first one who is courageous enough to disobey his own father. Perhaps being his daughter, she was the person most obliged to be following these laws. But she had the courage to say no, and she's the one who was in charge of Moses when Moses was supposed to die. So what does this show us? That when a woman is courageous enough, she can open the possibility for salvation. Because this woman, because she was courageous enough, then Moses could be the savior of his people. And I think that in the daughter of the Pharaoh, there is a beautiful image of Mary. Because both women were courageous enough, and in their yes, they led the way for a Savior to come to His people. The second observation I want to make, and it is the last one, this reading shows us that there are two types of laws. Human laws and the natural law. The law of the Pharaoh is a human law. But the daughter of the Pharaoh, she is following the natural law. Because the natural law teaches us that you can't kill an innocent human being, no matter what the government or the Pharaoh says. And I think that in the example of the daughter of the Pharaoh, there is also a lesson for us. In this historical moment, in this culture and in this society, sometimes we as Christians, as Catholics, we're obliged to decide between natural law and the law of the men. And this example has to show us again that we will always have to answer to our conscience and to a natural law, no matter what is the cost. Like, for example, this is the example that St. Thomas More showed to all of us.